This is numbers 1 and 2 on the test study guide. So on numbers 1 and 2, you were supposed to cross out, we're not doing surface area at all, we're just in volume. So we're going to find the volume of these composite shapes. On this one here, I see a hemisphere, that's half of a sphere, and I see a cone. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the volume of the cone. Now remember, anytime it comes to a tip, that volume is going to be 1/3 the area of the base times the height, and that height has to be that center height, coming from the center of the object, making that right angle all the way to the top of the figure. And so what we've got here is we've got 1/3 the area of the base. Now the base shape here for a cone is going to be a circle. So the base formula, or the area of the base, would be for a circle pi the radius squared. Well, the radius here I am told is 6, so pi 6 squared. So there is 1/3, here is the area of the base, pi r squared, times what's the height of this cone? The height of this cone is 12. So we're going to go ahead and figure out what that is. So we'll grab our calculator. So we're going to do 1/3 times, I'm going to go ahead and just do 6 squared times 12. I'm leaving off the pi. What that gives me is 144, and now I'm going to put the pi back on. I'm going to leave it as an exact right now. So basically what I put in my calculator was 1 divided by 3 times 6 squared times 12. That gave me 144, and now I'm going to have 144 pi. Now let's go ahead and find the volume of the hemisphere. To do the volume of the hemisphere, it's going to be the volume of the sphere, which is 4/3 pi r cubed, but since it's only half of the sphere, we're going to take that whole answer and we're going to divide it by 2. So let's go ahead and plug that information in. We have 4/3 pi. What's the radius? The radius is 6, so 6 cubed, and that entire answer will then be divided by 2. So in my calculator, I'm going to put 4 times 6 cubed. So I got 6 cubed, and then I'm going to divide that by 3. And so far, all that I found here is that I've got 288 pi. When I do 4/3 times 6 cubes divided by 3, that's just this first part. And now I need to take that answer and divide it by 2. When I do that, again, I'm going to get 144 with the pi. So what I've got here is I've got a hemisphere that has a volume of 144 pi, and I've got a cone that has a volume of the same thing, 144 pi. So what we're looking for then is the total volume. The total volume is going to be the 144 pi from the cone plus the 144 pi from the hemisphere, and that right there is going to give me 288 pi. Now if you're going to approximate that, then 288 pi is approximately 904.8. Now let's put some units to this, feet cubed. So both of these answers, this is the exact, this is the approximate. Now on number 2, what I see here is that the base here is going to be a square because it's a 4x4, and since it has a certain height and it has this boxy look, that's what we call a prism. So we're going to find the volume of the prism here, and then I also see that I have got a pyramid on top. Now this pyramid has to be a square pyramid because the base has to match the base of this prism here, which is a square, and then they're telling me from the bottom of this pyramid to the top it's 6 inches, which is actually the height of it. So let's go ahead and start by finding the volume of the prism. The volume of a prism is the area of the base times the height. So in this case here, the base is going to be the square. So the area of the base would be 4 times 4 times how tall this is, so times 5. So now I'm going to have 16 times 5, which gives me a volume for this prism of 80 inches cubed. Now we're going to do the volume of the pyramid. For the volume of the pyramid, remember anytime it comes to a point, it's got to be 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So it's 1/3 the area of the base. Again, the base shape for this pyramid is going to match the base shape of this particular prism. So that is a square, which means the area is 4 times 4, times how tall this pyramid is. In this case, our pyramid is 6 inches tall. So now we're going to do 4 times 4 times 6, and then all of that's going to be divided by 3, and we're going to get that this is 32 inches cubed for the volume. So to find the volume of the entire shape, we're going to find the total by adding those together. So here we've got 80 inches cubed plus 32 inches cubed. And when we add those together, we're going to get 112 inches cubed would be our final answer.